The voracious curiosity of the space agency NASA is one thing that knows no limitations. As NASA prepares for new discoveries, it faces a difficult choice of selecting its next big telescope. After launching its huge observatory, the JWST, the agency didn't wait to announce its detailed analysis for the funding of 4 potential telescopes to better understand the possible opportunities and risks for each telescope. One of the 4 candidates for NASA's next flagship telescope is the Large UV Optical IR Surveyor, or LUVOIR, a massive space telescope expected to take the reins of exoplanet research in the 2040s and find Earth-like exoplanets. Since LUVOIR is expected to be huge compared to any space telescope launched to date, including JWST, NASA is in search of a rocket that can deliver this massive payload into space. But come to think of it, Elon Musk's Starship is one of the biggest and most powerful rockets ever built in history. Although its huge size, SpaceX may need to develop a new version of this rocket in order to deliver the LUVOIR telescope into space. In fact, NASA has shown some plans to launch this huge telescope with the help of SpaceX. The agency is preparing Elon Musk's company for something that today's rocket can't do. In today's video, we'll talk about this potential collaboration between NASA and SpaceX in order to launch this huge observatory into space. LUVOIR telescope is based on the design of the recently launched James Webb Space Telescope. Simultaneously, it has a few key advantages over the Webb telescope, making it an even better instrument. The most obvious difference is, of course, its size. It is much bigger than the Webb telescope. NASA stated that the ultimate version of the LUVOIR is still unknown, even though it has 2 possible designs, LUVOIR A and LUVOIR B. LUVOIR A is a full-scale, uncompromised telescope with a 15-meter-wide primary mirror made up of numerous small reflectors. It has a sunshade covering an area ranging from 5,000 to 20,000 square meters. LUVOIR B is a scaled-down version of the broadband Surveyor telescope, with an 8-meter-wide primary mirror and a sunshade that is likely to be smaller as well. Both designs feature a fine steering mirror situated near the rear exit pupil of the optical telescope element to ensure ultra-fine pointing stability for the instruments. Remember, this is a space telescope that would need to fit into the payload fairing of a rocket, survive launch into orbit, and then travel almost 1 million miles from Earth to its final operational destination. NASA previously had talks with SpaceX's founder, Elon Musk, and asked if they could use the Starship to launch the LUVOIR telescope, and if it would fit. Elon Musk was so open to the idea since it was always his dream to partner with NASA. He replied that it would be an honor for the entire SpaceX team to work with NASA. Elon Musk has always had big dreams about space exploration. Following the success of his Falcon 9 rocket, he began to build the Starship. One of the main goals for starting this project was for scientists to be able to easily access and explore space with huge payloads at a much lower cost. For the launch of LUVOIR A, an SLS rocket, Space Launch System, or even a larger Starship is required, because it has a huge cargo space compared to any other rocket. Unfortunately, none of these rockets is yet to fly into space, and the SLS has several flaws that have led many to doubt its capabilities. On the other hand, the Starship is a revolutionary concept that will require significant testing and experiments. For LUVOIR B, it can be launched into orbit by smaller rockets with a cargo space that is 5 meters wide. However, between the 2 designs, A and B, the larger version, which is LUVOIR A, is most likely to be used. The proposed launch date for the LUVOIR telescope is 2039, which appears to be a plausible prediction. We still can't be sure about the date because the Webb telescope was initially scheduled to launch in 2007 at the end of the 1990s, but it only happened a few weeks ago. LUVOIR will be located at the same Lagrange point as the Webb telescope, L2, but it will follow the footsteps of the Hubble telescope. This means it can be serviced by astronauts if necessary, who don't have access to remote regions now, which is why Starship or SLS is needed. The initial cost of the larger version of LUVOIR is projected to be $10 billion, almost the same as the James Webb telescope. However, LUVOIR is expected to cost up to $24 billion in the long run because of the fact that it will be maintained by human workers. LUVOIR will be equipped with various important scientific tools for viewing the surrounding cosmos, among other things. If NASA chooses LUVOIR as its next huge space telescope project, It will culminate a long line of ideas. Guess we have to wait and see. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to TechWiki and press the notification bell for more space-related content.